Alright, we're jumping in late to a hourly arena on Lichess. This is my first time playing on this site while recording. It is the best site. Lichess is wonderful. Hopefully I get some interesting games. The format of tournaments here is you get 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a loss. But if you can string together multiple wins in a row, after the second one, all your results are doubled. So if you can get a nice streak going, you can get some really high scores, and it's a fun format. It's a good tournament system. So this early bishop coming out and coming back is purely to displace their bishop on d7. Now they get into f4 here. That's interesting. So if I play bishop d2, knight f4, bishop b4 is fine for me. So I guess I have to block that way, because if I block a knight e2, they have knight f4. If I block a knight c3, they can take. So I'm going to block bishop and recapture queen. And then continue developing. I look to play knight e5 if they don't play knight c6 immediately to get rid of their bishop. Not that big a deal, because it's not like they have the two bishops. Actually, they should just play knight c6. This was poor, I should have castled, because d4 is loose. Okay, that is a ridiculous move. And the bishop just loses more time there. But I should have castled, because if they play knight c6 and I take on d7, queen d7, I have trouble defending d4 at the end. I think I'm just going to come back to f3. Generally, I have more space. I don't really want to trade pieces. I'd like to keep cramping them. I might play b4 if given the chance to prevent the c5 break. Now they're not really going for c5 necessarily, so I'm going to come here. Centralize my pieces. We play b3 and a4. Play against the knight. Gain a little space. Alright, so that's a potential weakness. So now anytime we move the knight, we hit that. I'm gonna start by just coming back to f1, maybe thinking about knight e4 next turn. Maybe thinking about fianchettoing at some point. Alright, so if I move my knight, I can hang mate. Not really interested in moving my knight. I think I'm going to play knight e4 while I have the chance. Maybe this gives them time for f5, f4, and I want to play h3 first to push the knight back. But I like the opportunity for knight e4 when we're not trading pieces. If they play f5, I can come to g5 and e6 falls. And a5 is loose. They still can't drive away my knight. e6, a5 are hanging. I'm still coming with h3. Probably winning. Okay, I'm going to start by pushing the knight back, just so I can't hang mate. Then I'm going to follow, I think, just by taking on a5. So I'm still threatening e6 and f7, and I was thinking they were going to go back to f6 so they could play h6, so I had to make sure my knight would never get trapped. Yeah. So if we trade queens, they do defend e6. If I don't trade queens, they still have to find a square for their knight. I'm going to keep queens on. Now, if I take on e6, they might have knight e4 at an annoying moment. So I'm going to keep my knight defending that. Maybe get my queen off the line with the rook, and where it won't be hit by a knight e4. Yeah, maybe I should have done this last turn. I'm just going to play here. Maybe knight e5 next. I was worried that sometimes they might have queen takes, d takes, rook d2, but they never really do. It wasn't a serious worry. I think I'm going to bring my other knight in now. Maybe g3 and bishop g2 next. Because my bishop's not doing a lot on its current diagonal. Maybe it can support an eventual d5 break. Alright, so my e5 knight I think is better than my g5 knight. I'm going to bring this one back to defend. Ooh, but now I am conceding knight e4. So if knight e4, I'm going to play bishop d3 to fight against that. Still going to play bishop d3. But now I have to play quickly. My position's a little loose. Got to take that. Maybe queen e2 next. Okay, I mean, I'll happily take that pawn. I think their king is much more vulnerable than mine. And try to trade a pair of rooks. Maybe take back queen, so I'm still on e6. Okay, let's take this way. If they take back queen, I have knight e6, so they should take back rook. Now maybe queen c1 next, thinking of coming to g5. Or queen d2 if possible. Try to sneak in on those dark squares that aren't, or it's somewhat difficult for him to defend. It's also queen c3, but let's hit the knight on h6. Right. They're threatening f2, so I'll just defend it. Still threatening h6. Okay. We have to be quick. Been far too slow. Threatening queen g4. Not take that, obviously. Play mate if given the chance. Alright, well, not the most convincing of wins, but, you know, pretty comfortable as they go. And we are in 186th. And Andy P has made a mouse slip. I don't know if you can see that. Alright, let's play the Sicilian. And I'm writing a course on e5 here, so let's advertise it and hope I play a good game. So the idea here is I've given up the two bishops, but they've spent a lot of tempo moving their knight around. And now I'm really trying to get the d5 break to free myself of this backwards pawn. That does nothing to prevent it. So black should have a comfortable position. I have the only central pawn. I have the d and c files for my rooks. So I have a few options here. I can play d4 and chase the knight, which looks pretty good. I can play knight b4 and hit c2, which looks pretty good. I'm not sure which to do first. I think I'll start with knight b4. So they have to do something about c2, and I'm curious what they do. Okay. Now I think the second order of business. I could also take and play bishop f5, but then they have knight d6. So I'm going to hit their knight away. Maybe I should have done d4 first, because now they have knight e2, which is an option they didn't have before. Poke at a2. Let's add pressure to c2. If c3, I might have d3, I don't. Alright, I guess I take on a2 now, because I hit the bishop and hit c3. They might have bishop d2, trapping my knight. But I have the feeling it's okay. I can also take on d4, but I take on c1, and after trades, we've moved their knight off of d4. So I think they should play bishop d2. This may have been overambitious on a2. Okay, well now I can take on c1. And now I can take on d4. Do I want d3? No, they have knight f4, so I'm just going to play knight c6 and defend the pawn. Maybe bishop c4 coming? Maybe I should have played bishop c4 last turn. Yeah. Let's play bishop c4. Pin the knight. Give ourselves time to... Probably king e7 now instead of castles, because I think the king's going to be better centralized. Ooh, did we blunder bishop c6? I may have blundered bishop c6. Yeah. So bishop c6, rook c6, knight d4. Alright, well, let me avoid that, but I did make an error there. So now we have a pawn up endgame. Got to take back rook or we lose a6. I'm going to put the rook on the side of the pawn, be a little less tied to it, and maybe start expanding on the queen side, where I have an extra pawn. Stop b3 ever pushing my rook away. They can never really threaten d4. Also, if they play b3 at some point, I'd have rook c3. It's not really a worry. I'm going to stop them playing e5. They don't have much pressure on d4, so I could move my d-rook away if I wanted. But I'm hoping these are useful pawn moves to have made. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe rook b4 next. Thinking rook b3. Alright, do I want this closed or not? I think I want it closed, but I'm not sure. I sometimes overly close the board in rook endgames, where I think like I have the only file of importance, so I should close everything else so they don't get counterplay. But in fact, if there's only one weakness, I don't have enough firepower to break through. So sometimes I close unnecessarily. But I thought here, with rook b3 and the rook coming over to g3, that their pawns will fall apart. I guess takes and rook g3. Maybe rook d1 for them. Probably play here. They can give up the pawn on e6 to win my d4 pawn, but I should have ample extra pawns there. And actually, on that move, I'd probably just block it, play rookie here. I can draw arrows here. I know how to draw arrows on Lichess. So yeah, I think I'm just going to pick it up with the rook, keep my central pawn, not give them anything. They can't even play rook g1, because when I take, I defend g6. Yeah. Alright. 2 for 2. And we are up to 119th place. And we are now on fire. You can see this beautiful fire symbol. If we win another, we will get double the points. We might even make it into the top 80? Something like that. But can we get another game? What's first place? We'll never know. Alright, let's play e4. So we've had 2 Scandies. This is just helps white develop. Notice how I effectively have 3 developmental turns, and black has just moved their queen. Maybe knight b5 at some point will be useful harassment. Yeah, maybe now. Because I can often follow with queen a5. e2 is a little loose, so I have to be a little scared about this. Also, if their knight moves, they get discovery, so maybe they could reply knight b3 check, takes queen b5. So I guess I don't want to continue like that. Let's pester their queen some more, see where they go. Maybe if the queen goes to g6, then I play knight b5 perhaps? Hitting a7 and c7? Now that their queen doesn't have this pressure on it. Now that I don't have anything hanging. So yeah, let's try knight b5. I think it is a little awkward for black to defend. Probably queen a5 next. For instance, a6, queen a5 threatens mate on c7. Can I take it? Why not? I guess I'll take on c7. Might be being a little optimistic here. Okay. I mean, I am winning a lot. I don't like shaky positions. And not that that was particularly shaky, but I was looking for simple, grab a few things and get out of there. That probably achieved. Anyways, we're top 50. So how much would we need to be in first? 22. Alright, we're probably not going to win this tournament. Started a little late. Ah, well, if you're going to berserk, I shall too. Let's play the tango. Looking to quickly bash out in the center with e5. And these positions are supposed to be pretty equal. I'm only going to take on c4 once they move their bishop, so they are delaying. Maybe knight g4 is coming. Put some pressure here while their bishop hasn't yet recaptured. I might be able to just snag a pawn. Almost played a very poor move in bishop c3. Let's pester. The bishop's a little awkward, doesn't have a natural home. I'm a little worried about them pushing e4, e5, but not that worried. Play rook d8. I want c5. I'm not sure why, but I want it. Let's pin the knight to their queen. A little awkward because my queen's not defended either. Good move. I guess just go here. e5's loose, so we should win a pawn eventually. We do get to take the check for whatever little that's worth. And maybe knight f4. Thinking about checks on e2. Or coming to d3, if they allow. Make some checks, hit b2. Let's just defend it. Chase the knight a little. I don't really know where I'm going with this position. Let's stop the check. Yeah. Now their rook doesn't have an entry square. I'm going to have to play quick, but my pawns are pretty good. I'm going to take on b2 and then push the c pawn. That doesn't help too much. Rook c2 threatens rook c1. They have to move the king away. Now I'm going to play a4 first, then b4, and just push the a pawn as quickly as I can. Play a2. And make a queen. They don't have many checks, as Grishuk likes to say. No one ever died of a single check. And I have 2 queens. Alright. So, perhaps a little scarier with the berserk, but all well under control. And we're top 20 with 13 points. So we got a 5th point. You get an extra point if you berserk. Berserk is you lose half your time. One person can berserk, both people can berserk. That one it was both, but you get an extra point if you win. So I had 2 for winning, then 2 more for a streak, and then 1 for berserking. All right, let's stick with the Sicilian. Okay, so normally this recapture is just very pleasant for black. I get extra control of d5, which is often my weakest square. In fact, I can probably play d5 now already, which is usually black's equalizing idea in the Sicilian. Really tempted to play bishop takes or knight f4. Maybe knight f4. Hitting g2 and d3, and if they take, I now have the 2 bishops. I threaten rook e8, maybe bishop c5. I feel like I should have a nice initiative. I'm going to start with queen h4. I'm guessing queen e1. I am incorrect per always. I'm going to play with rook d8, rook c8, moves like that. Just try to activate my pieces. Ah, yeah. Do I care about the a-pawn? I'd like not to. But I'm just going to come back. Play rook d8 next. Okay, this is a little odd, because your queen is pinned. So this feels kind of vulnerable. But I have bishop c5, so bishop c5, knight c5, their queen is defended. But bishop c5, knight c5, queen g3, king h1, I don't have anything. Because I was thinking, if their knight can't take, then their king has to go to g2, and I have queen h3, and that's mate. So bishop c5 is very close. But knight c5 is a problem when queen g3, I think, is only a draw. So I'm going to play queen h3, and I sort of threaten like f5 or bishop f5, getting rid of the knight that defends the critical c5 square. Yeah. So f5 now traps my own queen after rook h2. So instead, I'm going to start with rook d8, hit the bishop. Probably come back to f5 when chased. Knight f6 check, queen f6, they can take on h7, but I don't think they get anywhere. I'm threatening f3, I'm threatening d3. So unless they have something cool with knight f6, I think they have to settle for bishop e2. After which maybe I'll go bishop d5. I'm not sure. Maybe rook b or c8. Okay, well, this move does not work because I can take it with check. And I want to do so, I think, with the bishop. And then I will take on d3. I think with the rook, threaten rook d2. Because my queen can get in the attack more easily, and if my rook's not already there, it's harder for it to come in. Okay. We have snuck into the top 10 with 20 minutes to go. Should be able to get in a few games. Let's play d4. Queen's Gambit. I don't have anything prepared against an ensues, so let's play knight f3. Let's play knight bd2. I think this annoys Bogo players a bit. I feel like they probably are supposed to take there and play bishop b7 to stop my central expansion. This is very reasonable. I'm going to play b4 to control the c5 square so the knight doesn't have a home there. Probably bishop b2, put some pressure on e5. Not obvious how they defend it. They didn't. But they do have the point that my bishop's loose. So they get away with this one. Or I punished it poorly. Maybe queen c2. Yeah, they get b4, I get e5. They might get e4 though at the end. With the rook e8 or something. Huh. Miscalculated this. Bad position. Yeah, how am I going to meet this? If I have to play bishop f6, this position is disgusting. f4 is very weakening. So maybe knight f3, get my pieces off the d-file. Yeah, defend the bishop. e4 is still temporarily controlled. Okay. They sort of threaten knight g4, but I should be able to handle that with bishop g3. Still v4 defended. Maybe I can play e... Still pretty bad. Okay. I'd like to play bishop f1 at some point, just get the bishop off a vulnerable square. Like to be able to play e5, but can't really. h3, knight f6, bishop h4, maybe their point is g5, but I'd probably be very happy to see g5. But they can just sidestep with like... Oh, they can't play queen d6 because of e5. It's okay. Let's get h3, and maybe we have a little pressure. Okay. I don't think it's much, though. I'm going to come back. There's a little less pressure on the e-pawn, so we do have the potential to play bishop f1 at some point, which I would still like. I feel a lot more secure with the bishop there. Yeah. So if knight c5, I'm going to push e5. I would be happy to see bishop f3. I don't think my king is weak, and I'll have the bishops. And against this, maybe just rook d1. If queen c6 or something, knight d4, I have g2 defended. The bishop's very good on f1. If queen e6, knight d4 still, maybe coming into b5 or f5. I think I'm starting to activate. Probably f5. Maybe reroute into d5. Maybe f4 someday. Okay, I'm going to keep my bishop. Knight d5 now cuts off their defense of their knight. So I think they have real problems if they take. They have to run away with their knight, but then I get c7. Does bishop d3 win? I don't see how they defend the knight. With bishop d5, cd5, and they have the same problem. Rook e5 I take, queen f2 just loses a piece. Yeah, this doesn't work. I think I want king h1, because their queen needs to stay connected to their bishop, and I can play rook f1 after if they don't. Ah, it doesn't need to stay connected. Cute. Oh, I had bishop f3. Alright, I'm gonna make a check. I have to play quick. I do not think I'm going to be quick enough here. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Yep. Meant to take g7, but I think I was too slow there. And now we are not doing so well. That's a shame. Bit slow while talking. Yeah, interesting game. Right, we're going to try to play a bit faster this one. Just going to be solid. Solid and quick. Gotta get the bishops. g3 and bishop g5 combine badly because the bishop can never go back to h4. I'm gonna take. Why not? That why not? If they take on c4, then bishop a6. Might work, might not. Bishop b5, I guess. Sort of threaten c3. Maybe rook c8 coming next. Their knight blocks their bishop retreating, so their bishop is low on squares. But c3 is probably my next move if they don't do anything. Alright. I don't see a good discovery with their knight. Their bishop is very low on squares, so their queen is really tied down to defending them. Makes sense. So I can take on b2. I can also play bishop d4, cut off the rook and keep the knight tied to things. But I'm a pawn grubber at heart. I don't like having all the pieces on the queen side. That makes me a little uncomfortable. I always feel like I'm about to get mated when I have no pieces near my king. Yeah. Feel a little bit loose now. Cement the bishop in, so now it's out of the game. And I really would like to trade off their bishop now. I'm going to put significant effort into their bishop. Knight c3, probably a decent move. I'd like to go somewhere that keeps an eye on their rook, so if their knight moves, their rook's loose. So for instance now, bishop c4, rook c4, I'm threatening rook e4 and queen d6. Alright, rook e4, rook d8 takes, rook takes, king h7, f3. And I think I have queen b6 check, right? Yeah. So I'm going to do it. Because they win this rook, but I win that rook, and I have these extra. Otherwise I have time for f5. So that's game. They have no checks. They take the bishop, I queen. I can just queen. It's no perpetual. Alright, that wasn't bad. A little slower than I would have liked. Alright. Sicilian it is. I just play e6, blunt the diagonal, pair d5. Is it a little uncomfortable to defend the pawn? Probably not so bad, just queen e2. I'm going to play d6. I didn't actually mean to play it, but it seems reasonable. Just undermine their central pawn. Get castled. Feel safe. The e6 pawn really does a good job blunting the c4 bishop. It's not so well placed there. White can maybe play f4 at some point here. I'd like to play b5, knight b5, queen a5 check, but it doesn't do anything. So I'll play b6 and bishop b7. Maybe bishop a6. I'm going to give up the bishops here. Or I'm not going to. Very pleased not to. If they castle queenside, I'm going to try for a big quick b5 and maybe c4. Maybe a5. Just get that storm going. If they castle kingside, then bishop b7 I think lines up well against it. Maybe knight f4 at some point. And let's hit the pawn. They don't have knight f5 because the pawn's not actually pinned to my queen. gonna play b5. I think their bishop's awkward. I also had knight f4, possibly, but I didn't see what it actually accomplished. Now, either way their king goes, I think it's kind of uncomfortable. I'm gonna play a5. Maybe that was wrong. Now they have a4. Yeah, that was a little silly. Okay, well now... which rook? Probably this rook. I threaten knight f4 takes d3. That is one loose king. Now I'm going to play this just to open lines. Do I want to insert knight f4? I don't think so. I guess I don't want to allow any rook trades. The knight on e4 is pretty good. It means I don't have like queen f6. Knight f4, queen d7. Don't have somewhere obvious. Alright, let's come back for a turn. See what happens. But these last two turns were not very good for me. So I could play like queen e3. Alright, now I would like to play knight f4. If I take on g2, can they track the knight? Don't think so. Can they use the g file? More likely. I'm going to play g6 because I am scared. Knight h5, probably rook g5. Therefore, I think I'm going to take on e4 and play rook c8. But they can take back pawn. Then maybe knight d3 check. And hit c3. I have to take because I'm on f2. Yeah. This has been less comfortable than I would have liked. Alright, let's keep an active rook. King c2, and it's very hard for me to make any threats. Yeah. Maybe queen d8. Keep an eye on h4 and f6. Maybe rook d1 now. Idea to swing to a1. That looks annoying for them. So how did they save a2? They probably have to move the queen so that a2 doesn't skewer it. But also I'm threatening queen d1. Yeah, so now I can... Alright, what's the best order? It's probably simplest. Yeah. Okay, so rook d1, a1. I made a decent maneuver. It's a miracle. I'll push my a-pawn to victory. Well, we're back on fire, so we can amass points, but we do not have time left, so we're going to finish very sad 21st. Oh. It's like Biff and Filioso are having nice tournaments. And Karam has won every game. Let's berserk. Alright, they are not interested in winning the tournament. We're going to play an advanced French. They're interested in winning rating. I like the bishop d3 lines. I think taking on d4 is a little more precise. So now I'm threatening b4. They usually stop it. And now knight b3 to d4 is a common sequence. Now the computer gets really excited about these positions. I'm less excited, but I think I should look to play h4, h5 and inconvenience the knight. Bishop e3 can come, but it loosens my defensive e5, so it's nice to have in reserve, but it's not needed. I guess I'll take that. Tempo? Not tempo. Huh. So if I play bishop h7, what happens? Bishop h7, king h7, queen d2. Knight moves. What am I doing? Let's just play queen d2. But I have lost the bishops for bad reasons. Yeah, they have a very nice French position. And I am down over a minute on the clock, having berserked. What to do? If we trade knights, we're in an opposite bishop endgame, which is probably very bad for me given the amount of time left, because it's very easy to make lots of moves and make someone have to defend being down on time. I'm going to look for b4. So I think I really don't want a knight trade. And that makes it hard to find a plan. I'm going to keep f2 extra defended. I'm on d5, so it's hard for them to push. b5 was hanging, but did not see it. Let's poke. We threaten knight g6. This might be good. Maybe we had this for a while, ever since I played king h8. Didn't see it though, till now. Maybe we needed to defend f2 again with the rook. Right. Take that. Take. They can't keep the knight there, and it's pinned to the bishop. Oh, they can't keep the knight there. Alright, let's keep my rooks defended. Think about queen g6. Okay. This is going to be one of those games I'll wish I hadn't berserked. If the bishop moves queen d8, try to trade queens. Yeah. The bishop, it'll come to c4. Where does my rook belong? Oh, now my king can come up. That was silly of them. Yeah. Okay, well, sadly, I believe the tournament's over, yeah. I didn't get this one fast enough. Alright. Well, we won that despite a big time deficit, though. Reasonably happy with that result. Alright, well, that was my first Lichess Blitz Arena. How'd we actually do? Sometimes if you click yourself, it gives information on performance, I thought. But maybe just for the top guys. Alright. Cheers.